Okay, I'm making this video because I can't believe people think that COVID is not real. It is real. Real, real. Um I in the middle of February, I started feeling more like the end of February. Almost yeah, it was like the 20 something of February that I started feeling tired. And I almost felt at times like I was gonna collapse. And then I was having a little bit of breathing issues, not severe. It was something so mild, but I didn't think of anything because, sorry, itchy nose. I didn't think of anything because basically, well, I have sleep apnea, and I thought, some episodes of sleep apnea, because sometimes I have it, well, laying down in bed, but I also have it sometimes sitting down. But I was feeling extremely tired, and my throat was hurting. It felt really scratchy, and then I had a cough. I noticed that I started with the cough, and I thought maybe it's allergies, but the cough was dry. There was nothing in it, which is true. And I had an appointment with my doctor over the phone. By that time, they started canceling appointments and they were making them over the phone, which was okay. And I talked to her about the symptoms that I had, and she was like, well, you might have strep throat. And I said, okay, well, she's probably right because my throat hurts. But then I started losing taste. I couldn't taste anything at all. I couldn't taste my food. I couldn't smell very well. And I was like, but why can I not taste? And then I would be sitting down and it almost felt my, like I was going to collapse at times. I think I said that at the beginning, but that started happening. Then I started feeling really tired, and I was even feeling like irritated, and I was keeping my to myself in my room. I was keeping myself in my room, and I was like, it's probably the strep throat or something like that. But she didn't give me any antibiotics or anything like that because she wasn't sure, and it was over the phone. And she said only if it got worse to actually go. And I didn't feel like it was that bad for me to go in because I was freaking out anyways, and I didn't want to expose myself to the clinics and the hospitals and whatever with all this coronavirus thing. I think I don't supposed to say that. Anyways, but um then I started with some pain in my body that was excruciating, and I thought maybe it's because of the weather change. The weather has been changing a lot, and oh my god, the pain was just horrible. It was just crazy. So I took ibuprofen. I did took ibuprofen, but I always take ibuprofen because I always have pain. And so, but this was different. This was a lot stronger. The pain was like 100 times worse than what I usually get. And I noticed that every time I would take ibuprofen, I would get cramps in my stomach. And I thought, well, because they say if you take ibuprofen in an empty stomach, you get sick. So I started eating while taking ibuprofen, and I would still get cramps. I would get cramps in my stomach, and I stopped taking ibuprofen because the pain wasn't getting any better. And I lasted like that 3 days with the pain. Stop touching your face. I can't help it. I get nervous when I do videos and I start like itching all over. Anyways, and I was like, this is strange. At that time, they would talk about COVID, but it wasn't as bad. And I still kind of like had a feeling like, oh, things are going to get better and stuff like that. Then I would have days that I would feel okay, but I would still feel exhausted. Like most of my days were like sitting in the couch. And I know strep throat makes you tired, but then my throat would feel fine. Then it would feel irritated again. And then I've had strep throat before, and strep throat is very painful. It's the most painful thing you can have, and there was nothing of that. Nothing. Absolutely nothing of that. It was different. Then I even posted on Facebook one time that I was feeling sick, and I had a really high temperature of fever, and I was like, oh gosh, I'm feeling sick. But most of the time I was in my room. I was tired. I just had no energy. I started with headaches every day, every night. I usually get migraines, but I know how migraines are, and I get them, and if I take caffeine, they'll go away. But they are bad, but these headaches were constant and every day. It almost felt like somebody pounded my head, and it felt so heavy with the headache that I was like, I've never felt it. I would tell my husband, like, you know what? I have these headaches and I don't understand why. And I had those headaches for about 2 weeks. Well, I was having all the symptoms, different symptoms all the time. But even though I was sick, I would still get up and go outside my yard and do stuff. But it's still, I would feel extremely exhausted. So I would come back to my room and sleep. Sleep. I slept so much. And then again, I started with fever. And it would go away and then come back. And then the headaches finally went away. And the taste was still gone. And then the smell was gone. And when I finally started getting the taste back, I was tasting food. The meat would taste like fish. And certain foods would taste like iron. But I couldn't taste the sugar. I couldn't taste the salt. Nothing. And then I was, I have anxiety, so I would be like, oh, it's probably my anxiety, blah, blah. But I didn't feel normal, and I was like, but why am I not tasting my food? And then after that, I got a little bit of fever again, and then it went away. I was still tired. And then all of a sudden, like the end of March is when I started tasting again. The first taste that I had was a watermelon. I actually caught a watermelon that I bought, and I was like, ate it, and it was so sweet, and I was so excited because I finally was able to taste something. And I was like, this is so good. I ate the whole watermelon. It was a little watermelon, but it was so good that I ate the whole watermelon. Most of it. I did share it with my family, though. And I was like, oh, finally. And then here and there, I still wanted to, like, it almost felt like I was getting the flu, but it would go away. And then At that time too, I think that what helped too for not my family catching it was that I kept away from them for like about 2 weeks. I, for some reason, like, I didn't feel comfortable being close to them, and I disinfected the whole house. As tired as I was, I disinfected the whole house with bleach and Lysol and all that kind of stuff. And then anyway, so finally I started feeling better. I started tasting, and it's been about, I would say, a little bit more than a week that I started feeling normal. I actually could feel the allergy. Oh, the other thing that I noticed too, and I've never had, I mean, I've had issues with allergies, but every night I felt like something was going down my throat. And I felt something. And the other thing too is that my right lung was very tender. I noticed and it still kind of is, when I lay on my back, I can feel pressure in it. I don't feel any pain or anything anymore and stuff like that. And I didn't continue. I'm not good. I hate going to the doctor, so I didn't continue, and I didn't think like, I don't have that. It's probably just my imagination, and I'm just making it up in my head and stuff like that. But it was the weirdest. If I had the flu, it was the weirdest flu ever. There was so many symptoms that I had that was just crazy. But yeah, and so I started feeling better. And so it's been 3 days that I actually have energy. I mean, I feel the normal tire, but I'm actually out there in my yard working, and I'm enjoying the sun. I am coughing, and I am things like that, but it's a normal cough because it's allergies. I can feel the phlegms and I can feel that it's normal. And then now I'm hearing all the symptoms that COVID gives you, and I'm like, I'm almost 100% sure that I had it. I am just very thankful that I didn't give it to any of my family. My mom is 74 years old, and she's diabetic, and I'm just very thankful I didn't give it to her or my husband or anybody else, because I kept away from everybody. And I'm not saying that, but I'm almost 100%, it almost, not that I want to have it or wanted to have it or want to be part of the ones that have it. The hell, you know how scared that makes me, just the thought about getting sick. And I know some people get it really bad and die and are not even able to say bye to their family. But yesterday I saw a video that my cousin put on Facebook on this guy. He's like a soap opera artist and stuff like that in Mexico. And he was saying a lot of things that were so similar to what I had, and how long it lasted and things like that. And that's about how long it lasted. A little bit more than a month. So it lasts about 4 to 5 weeks, it seems like it. But like the worst parts are like the first 3 weeks. And he was saying about the loss of taste and the loss of smell. I had that for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I couldn't taste my food at all. So yeah. And so I was like, you know what? It sounds like something that I might have. And since you're not getting tested, and doctors are overwhelmed, and I don't feel like my doctor actually paid attention. I wish she would have said, like, let me test you for strep throat. She could have sent me to the doctor and test me for strep throat. And if it would have come out negative, she would have known that it wasn't that. But now, I guess, like that artist said, you'll never know if you actually had it because, well, now you don't have, like, I don't think I have it anymore because I feel normal. I feel myself. So anyways, I just want to let people know because I think that it's important. I don't know, but I just wanted to share this with people. It's important because people really need to believe that this is real. A lot of people are saying it's a conspiracy and government this, government that. I mean, I think we watch too much movies and we want to believe that's true. And I don't doubt that the government would do a lot of things, to control whatever. But the more we stay inside, the faster this is going to go away. And people seem to think this is not real. And the problem is that a lot of times people might have COVID and not know about it. And they might spread it to other people. So if you don't have to go out to work and you don't have to go out for anything, stay at home. Keep your distance. One thing, I went the other day, I'm going to be honest. We went the other day to Greeley. We needed groceries. But we could have got them here like at Winkle and for less. But we decided to go all the way to Greeley because, well, in Greeley, they have carnitas. And we were craving carnitas. And then that time, I got to say that I was already feeling better. So I was like, okay, let's go, I was tired of being at the house. And again, I haven't been tested for COVID or anything like that. I'm not sure that what I had was that, but I feel like it was 100%. But then, you never know. And I was really disappointed at my Latinos because people are careless, and it just seems like Hispanics really think that they are immune to stuff and are very disrespectful. And we were at the store. Supposedly the store only allowed 15 people in there. And there was more than that. When we were getting meat, I even kept my distance from Saul. And when he was asking for the meat, this lady with this young girl comes in and she's like right next to my husband. And I'm like, fuck, get away, And Saul turns around, looks at her, and she just kind of doesn't get it. And he moves far away from her, and she keeps getting closer. And he's like, okay, whatever, and grabs the meat. And we go to the part where they sell the bread, and we're like trying to get bread, and she goes onto that side. And you're supposed to wait for that person to finish instead of trying to go over this person. And guess what? She was right in back of me. I finally got pissed off, and I said, you need to keep your bitch ass away from me. I said, you don't know if I have it or you don't know if you have it. You need to wait till I'm done. And she gave me a stinky look, and the little girl got it, and she went away with her stupid phone. And she was just being stupid. And then when we were getting carnitas, another lady, she just comes right up next to Saul, almost even pushes him to the side. when it was not even her turn, and I kept looking, and the husband saw that I was looking, and he was like, there's the line right there, you need to be over here. And like, she didn't listen, and I said to her, you need to keep your distance. And she looks at me like, what? And I was like, yeah, you need to keep your distance, 6 feet apart, lady. And she kind of murmured something, and I was like, pinche gente pendeja, no entiende. And she just looked at me like, oh. She didn't say anything though, and I was waiting for her to say something so I could tell her something back, but she didn't. And there was a lot of people like that doing that. It's like, come on. If you don't believe it's real, at least respect that others do believe it's real and keep your distance. You don't want to, like, you don't want to, how do you say it? Be on top of other people and talking and breathing on them when you know that there's news all over saying, keep your distance, 6 feet apart. And it's just sad because these are Latinos, and in Mexico, a lot of people, that's what they're saying. Like, oh, we're going to die of something. But some people don't want to die of something. They just want to live as long as they can and then die whenever it's their turn, not before that. So anyway, so that's what I wanted to share today. I feel normal. I look normal too. I mean, I just woke up, so. But look at my face. It looks pinkish. It doesn't look pale like it used to. And I have pictures because I was taking pictures and I would take them and I was like, ugh, I look ugly. And I think I have some videos too. But for most part, I kept my distance. I have been keeping my distance for over a month. I've been keeping away. I've been respecting. I just respect everybody else. And I just want to be, I do get anxiety like everybody else. And I wish this was over right now. And I want to be able to have my life to normal and my distance. But I'm so happy to feel normal. And I'm happy that none of my family here is sick right now. And I hope we keep feeling healthy. And I hope your family keeps feeling healthy. And be patient. If you weren't able to do certain things that you planned for, it's okay. There's more time than life. So enjoy every minute of it. It's a chance to do everything that you wanted to do at home and you were not able to. For those that are working harder, that's time to save money. If you're making extra money, save that extra money. It's always possible. All you have to do is wanna do it. And yeah, I'm just trying to keep positive and help people to be positive about stuff too. Oh yeah. Sorry, I got disconcentrated for a second. I don't think I'm saying that right either. But well, what I'm saying is all I want is everybody to be positive. It's hard in this situation, but we can at least try and be positive. And those that are struggling with money and stuff like that and don't know how to pay their bills and stuff like that because they don't have a job or unemployment hasn't kicked in or they don't qualify for stuff because they don't have any documents to live in the United States legally. Just think that this is not going to last forever, and there's a lot of food banks out there, and there is other ways of getting help, and your renters cannot kick you out. They have to understand. You just have to be patient and think that when this is over, you're going to go back to work and you're probably going to have double the work. You're going to be able to continue your life. But if you are trying to continue your life in this pandemic normally by doing stuff that you don't supposed to, it's just gonna take longer, and there's more chances you'll get sick, or it's just gonna be more chances that other people will get sick. And what's the point of that? It's better to just be patient right now and try to help things to slow down so we can all go back to our normal lives and live a normal life like we used to, and be somewhat free again. So, oh, my cat's biting my foot. Anyways, but you guys all have a wonderful day and enjoy life for what it is right now. And stop saying you're going to do things when this quarantine ends, because when we all go back to normal, we're going to forget all those promises we made. Let's just be ourselves. Let's just go back to what we already were. Okay? You guys take care. Bye.